Hello again, it's Andy from the Science of RVs, and today I'm going to react to the allegation that I was harsh on solar. So let's get into that. So, was I harsh? A little bit, and I'll explain why. So, above my head now is a spreadsheet that I put together showing the power demand cycle through a 24-hour period. Now, you can see that the amount of kilowatts that's on there that I'm looking to use throughout a day is very, very high. And that's because I've got quite a large period of aircon use, which bumps up the numbers a lot. And also, this is a very large RV, and I'm trying to do everything electric. So I'm cooking with electric, I'm powering heating, hot water with electric, and so on. So they're relatively high numbers, but nonetheless, it explains the cycle. So what you can see is that through the night, before solar starts to kick in, I become deplete of power, and that's where my battery bank is going to have to carry me through that period. I then aircon starts to kick in, and this is about a 1450 kilowatt, sorry, 1450 watt solar system, based on being in Madrid for I think it's 6 or 8 hours in the day. So this is a sunny place with good sunshine in the summer, and so I can expect to generate a good amount of power through the day. I become about 4 kilowatt hours shy of energy, which on a 12 volt system is about 280 amp hours shy of energy by the time the sun starts to kick in. But then I completely destroy any generation I have by using the aircon a little bit in the morning and then quite a bit in the evening. So you can see that my problem fundamentally is that by using the aircon, I'm using up as much energy on the aircon as I generate through the day. However, if I had, so I'm going to need a generator, because by the end of the day I've used 13 and I've only brought in 10. However, I only ever go to about that 3 to 350 amp hours deplete. So if I'm chasing the sun in my RV and I'm migrating with the sun and I always get sunshine, which of course is what you do. You wouldn't go to winter and expect to live off a solar panel. So most RVers are migrant people. They go with the weather. So it's fair and reasonable to assume that solar in their context will always deliver some amount of power. And that basically means that the amount that they deplete, if they want to live without changing their lifestyle, means that they're going to need to use generation. And four kilowatt hours, if I've got a 4 kilowatt generator, is around about an hour. It's going to be a bit longer than that because of losses, but it's going to be about an hour. So if I had a solar system with a battery system, then the generator is not going to be on all the time. In fact, again, there's a video of a great couple who've got a 450 amp hour battery system, a 2.5 kilowatt generator, but they limit the amount of aircon that they're using, so they don't use it to this extent, and that gets them by perfectly fine. They tend to find if it's any hotter that they need to use 2 aircon systems, and they migrate to somewhere slightly cooler. So lifestyle for them is managed not in terms of how they live their life every day and power usage, but by where they are. And I think that's what most people would do. You know, I'm looking to go around the States. I'm looking to stay where the weather's kind to me, not harsh. So in that context, a solar system gets you so far, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't meet all your energy needs necessarily. If I'm using an awful lot of aircon, if I need to, and I'd hope I do have to, because I'm hoping I'm going to be where the good weather is. So I'm going to be using a generator. So I've made the decision to invest in a diesel generator. Does solar give me any benefit? Well, it depends on how I want to use that generator. If I just buy a pure sine wave inverter generator, plug it in as equivalent to shore power, manually flick a switch so it's one or the other. If I'm out in the wilderness, I haven't got shore power anyway. I can switch that generator on, get it running, and power my aircon, power whatever I need easily. I don't really need any fancy controllers. If I want an automatic transfer switch, so my diesel generator comes on when my battery's at a certain level, I can get one of those for a couple £100. I can get it included in the generator if I want this kit that I can do that with. However, if I want to integrate all these things together, I might want a more expensive controller. I've got a battery bank of probably 1 to 200 amp hours anyway with the generator, 300 maybe to get me through the night. So I've already invested in at least half the battery bank just by having a generator, and I don't want it to run overnight. So what extra does solar cost me? Well, the solar panels are at the hundreds of pounds for a big solar system, 1,000 watts plus, maybe call it £800 I can get a set. It comes down to the controller and the extra batteries. A nice controller like a Victron Multi Plus would mean that that's about another £1,000 extra, and the extra batteries are going to cost me maybe another £1,000 extra. The solar panels themselves are only 800. I might invest in that extra battery and controller technology anyway, just as part of setting up the RV and managing the power systems anyway. So in reality, I could argue that all I'm buying extra is the solar panels, because my system is already solar ready. The solar panels are, say, £800. In terms of $3 a diesel, those solar panels will pay for themselves in about 3 years-ish. No less than about 3 years. So as I only own my RV for 4, solar power will maybe supplement enough my diesel usage down to a level using the aircon all the time, because I won't use the aircon all the time. So solar might actually give me what I need, but nonetheless, in terms of the power it generates over those 3 years, the generator and the solar panels are about even, except for the controller. If I've invested in that controller anyway because I want to, I've invested in a battery bank because I want to, the extra investment for solar means that with diesel generator, I'm about square. If diesel prices go up, that'll affect that argument, but in the maths, I'm being slightly counter solar anyway. So solar fundamentally is not free energy. If I'm invested in equipment that I've already got and I choose to go solar on top, it's going to take years for it to pay for itself, at least 3, depending on the controller system I put in, maybe more. So was I harsh on solar? A little bit. Is solar free energy? No, it is not. Am I going to install solar? I don't think I am. On the vehicle that I've got, do I want any extra roof height? If I do get any solar panels, over the kind of stuff I stick outside when I'm static, just to top up my power. But when we come to spec the vehicle and design it, we'll see what we want to do. So there's my position on solar. Right now, the investment in the controllers, the investment in the batteries, and a little bit in the panels means that it's still, because it can't run the systems on its own, it's not cost effective. I don't believe many people will be out there without another energy source, a generator or the engine, or they use hookup. So, and that's the other point. On the numbers I've given you, I'm assuming I'm using solar all the time. The moment I'm using hookup, solar's not paying for itself. So it'll take 6, 7, 8 years to pay for itself if I'm using hookup all the time. So it's not the panacea that a lot of people say it is. It's a lifestyle choice, and it's a well-being, feeling good choice. It is not a financial choice. So, again, I'm sure you'll have lots of comments. Send them all in. I'd love to share views. Talk to you soon.